Good. How are you?
Good. Cheryl, Gail.
Hi.
I feel like the gang is back. And you guys do know we have a call evening as well, right? Okay.
Say that again, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on mute. Somebody has their speakerphone on. So let me mute it, and then feel free to unmute yourself. I'm saying to ask a question. I just want to make sure everyone is aware we have a call this evening at 9:00 Eastern. And unlike this call, right, which is kind of a how you do everything call, the call tonight is, think of it as if you were inviting your guest and they didn't know anything. That, in other words, we'll dress nice, we won't stutter, we won't curse, we'll behave. Go. Let everyone kind of come on. Here we go. Four o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, Rebecca, how are you?
Great, how are
Good. You're a little loud. If you don't mind, I'm going to mute you out, Rebecca. So if you need to ask a question, unmute yourself and then mute yourself back. Okay. There we go. So I just want you to know, Rebecca, it wasn't personal. Okay, so before we get started, which we'll get started in a few minutes, and I know Phil already brought up something about Calendly that he wants me to share today, and I'm happy to do that, about how you can use Calendly to book your meetings as opposed to our system. But you do have both those options. Does anyone else want me to cover anything else specific? Chris, I know you probably, based on what I saw earlier today, how to take our recordings and customize it to you, if I'm correct. I covered that yesterday, but I'll go over that today as well. Yeah.
Can you show us how to put our image on our icon up at the top of our website?
Your image on the top of your website.
It has the little head, where it says your name or something like that. It just has the head.
Oh, let me take a look, actually. Sometimes, right, when I don't do something myself, right, I got to think twice about it. So let me share that screen for a second. So here where it says ST, right?
Okay.
That's where you're looking at?
Yes,
okay,
I think so.
I'm going to be guessing on this one. So I go to my account and my profile. So this is where you change it, but I don't know where our edit button is for that. I'm going to ask the team. I don't know if we've carried that over from one yet.
Oh, you're in 2?
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I hit edit. Yeah. Let me ask when we'll have that available.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question, Steve. I downloaded the video from yesterday, but for some reason, at the 6-minute mark, even though I put your calendar in, it keeps going back to pitch.com. It won't take that link for some reason. And I go through and edit it, and it still goes back.
The only thing, again, I'll try to, you could be us, it could be you. I don't know if anyone else will have that problem, but in the chat today, put me your replicated website, and I'll make sure that at least I'll do it for you if we can't get you to do it for yourself, right? But I just need to know, your URL.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
Steve, I'm
thanks.
still having issues. I sent you the email from the Standard and Interactive. The site is not working.
Yeah, Tommy, I know you've got this one particular website that's challenged, and I've got to get the team to focus on it because there's nothing wrong with the system, right? I saw your email. but there is some block on that website, and I appreciate your suggestion of how to fix it, but I don't think that's actually quite the solution. But I will get someone to focus that on it for you. I apologize. I haven't been able to do that.
Okay, and Steve, this is so one other thing. I did send you an email, and this would probably be offline. But
Sure.
when I put, when I was using your video and creating my video, putting in my website and everything, and I titled it, I said, "Why pitch?" and I did a question mark, and I did "Why now?" and a question mark. I don't think I could put characters in there for the title, because then it was, I was trying to save it and it didn't. But then when it did save, I have 6 saved videos. Then I tried to delete them and they won't delete out. I keep getting that error. I put it in the email. It said error in deleting recordings or something. So I
Okay.
just put that out there to you in the email. But there's the 6 ones that I tried to delete. They're still in my recording library.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely check on the delete button just to see if I had one to delete. But let me see if I can. I'm going to upload, right?
Okay,
Select
thank
video.
you.
Yeah, you guys can see the screen, right? Where I'm.
Not yet.
Oh, hold on a second here. Let me do that for you.
Hey, Phil. Hey,
Jeffrey,
Steve.
Jeffrey, I want you to know you did an amazing job yesterday. Like you are host in chief.
Thank you, brother. You are awesome too, brother. You're awesome.
Okay, so now you guys can see my. Let me just move somebody out there. I can hear some background. So again, feel free to unmute yourself to ask questions. Okay, so you can see my back office, and I'm gonna just go through the process here for a second. iCloud Drive. I'm uploading my video recording. I know it's right because I know that blue shirt anywhere. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to do what you suggested, right? Why pitch? Why now? Okay. And just for the purpose of this, why not? Right. Okay. And then if I typed in my own website, ch.com/Steve, just for a second. And let's say I did that at 20 seconds, and I won't, at this point, go through the rest, and hit upload. Okay, now it says successful. And let's see what it looks like. Okay. There it is. Can you see my question marks?
Yes, but yeah, it didn't work for me on yesterday. And then I tried to delete the 6 of them that showed up. And let me check. They're still there in my folder.
Okay. And you know what you can also put in your chat, if you don't mind sharing. Oh, well, you don't want everyone to see it. I was going to say, send me on my email or text me at 954-683-7755. Text me, if you don't mind, your username and passcode. After the call, I'll log in so I could see it myself, right? You know, sometimes cut to the chase, right?
All right, thank you.
As opposed to saying to my team, you know, you guys go in and I haven't seen it and they're going to ask me 4 questions. Go do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, I have a question for you real quick.
Sure.
Are you experiencing any kind of difficulties with Macs or iMacs? And the reason I'm asking is I'm obviously on this Zoom with this pitch. Sorry,
Sure.
bad word. Shame on me.
No. We bless them. They're the granddaddies, right? We honor them.
Exactly. But I'm on this pitch on my iPhone. But when I try to get on this presentation on my Mac, for some reason, the join meeting button won't highlight and it won't allow me to do that. Now, I have been on pitches with Steven, for instance, when I was in New Orleans a couple weekends ago, I was able to get on his pitch. But for this particular one, I've tried several times, and for some reason, it won't allow me to engage this meeting.
What browser? Is it Safari or Chrome?
I'm in Safari. Does it work better with just Chrome?
Yeah, whenever you have that issue in Safari, then just try it with Chrome and
Okay.
see if that solves it. Not that.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see that. I thought I gave all the permissions. It shows that it's authenticated, but
Yeah. No, like what Phil is saying is like when you log into us, it'll say, camera
yeah.
permission from us, right? That's ours,
Yep.
right? But he's
Yep.
saying and it's a brilliant suggestion, Phil. I love when you're technically smarter than me on the phone call with your advice. That was great. Is sometimes you have to go to settings on your browser because sometimes it
Okay.
works back. So when people say to me, it worked yesterday, I don't know why it worked today. Sometimes there's a trigger in a browser-based scenario where it changed the settings on it because of some conflict with some other experience that you may have had. Like sometimes
Okay.
it'll grab the microphone. So that should do that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No, it's okay. And Jeffrey, I didn't want to just compliment you today. What can I make sure I do for you today so you get a good experience today out of today's session?
Great. There's a hybrid solution for me. I'll do pitches for an audience like we did yesterday,
Mhm.
but I'd like to also do my enterprise audiences. And when I'm sending out an invite, I like to know how we would integrate it to, or if you have an integration to Outlook, or I see you maybe have an integration into Calendly, and if that's the case, I can certainly use a Calendly. That's what I need some help with right now.
Yeah, so let me show you the shortcut, right? Until we have a proper integration, right?
Yes, sir.
And I actually use it myself, so that's why I can speak to it, right?
Okay.
So let me go to. So again, for everyone else, this is about scheduling a meeting using Calendly in the simplest way possible. So if I was going to use Calendly, that means I'm not going to schedule meetings through our own system, right? Because if I was going to schedule meetings through our own system, I hit schedule, I pick the day and time, right? I'm in control, or Pitt is in control of creating the link within that system, right? So the thing about Calendly, the advantage is that it can set the day and the time. It can set the schedule, right? You can add your own invite links to that. So what I do, right, is everyone has a start meeting now, which is another version of saying I have a link that will work all the time. I have an instant link. And so I hit share and I copy my invite. Oh, somebody just muted themselves. Okay.
Are you hearing him?
Okay. Hold on a second. So I can just hit copy link this way, however I want to do it. And then I use that in my Calendly here as my constant link. So you see here, this link will be the link. Now I can show this link or not if I want to hide it, right? Calendly allows me to do that. But every single time someone chooses a day and a time, this will be the link. So Calendly is controlling it, which I do in settings, right? I edit it, but it's picking the day, it's the time. The invites would all go through Calendly or whatever the CRM that you use, first creating a new link for every single meeting. And then if you want more security, because you're saying I don't want that link, for necessary every meeting, you can also put a lock on the meeting, a knock on the door, and have everyone enter if you really want to. But like for me, I schedule my meetings. Somebody's saying hello while I'm talking. Sorry. Okay. Let me just keep these out a sec. Okay. Okay. And again, feel free to unmute yourself when you have a particular question. Okay. But if you're not asking a question, then we can sometimes hear your background noise. Okay. So Jeffrey, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
How to use Calendly in an easy way possible, right? Short of that integration. And I'm assuming I'm not really familiar with Outlook because I'm an Apple guy.
Sure.
That you can do something similar there. It helps.
Sure. So, so make sure that I go to Calendly and set my meeting from Calendly and include a link there. Is that what I'm hearing? That's
Yeah,
the
so-
easy way to set a meeting. Okay.
correct. Let me see if I can pull up my calendar and log in, show you where I do it. Menu. I'm sorry, it won't let me log in.
No worries.
But yeah, I'm saying, so when I go to Calendly and I log in and it says edit the meeting, it'll say
Yeah.
location, normally where you put your Zoom invite link and that perspective, right? And
Mhm.
instead of the Zoom one, you just put ours.
Yeah, I just did that with Outlook. I just put it instead of an Outlook meeting, I just put in my pitch for the location and it worked.
Right. And for Outlook, it's better for you because I'm sure that's where your CRM is,
Yes, sir.
right? So for you, it'll be perfect, right?
Fantastic, sir. Thank you for sharing that with me, sir.
Okay. No, I'm glad you gave me an easy one, the first one.
Hey, Steve, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Okay, I made my avatar, well, not avatar, my avatar or my AI
Sure. Talking photo.
production, if you will. And
Sure.
what do I put with that in order to try to give them an overview and send it to their email?
So, so you made your own talking photo. First of all, congratulations
Yes.
on doing
Yeah.
that, right? You were able, you
Thank you.
uploaded a photo, you recorded your voice, you wrote your
Yes.
script, right? I
Came
want you
out
to
perfect.
take a bow for that, right? Okay. So then the second thing, this is, let me share the screen to show you exactly what you should do. Okay. Or everyone should do in that case, right? So let's say I'm in my talking photos right here. See, it says AI tools, talking photos. And if you've created it already, it's down here.
You're not
Oh.
sharing the screen.
You're not sharing.
Okay. See, that's why I don't want to mute all you, right? Keep me on my toes. Okay. One second here. Okay. There we go.
There you go.
So if I'm in my back office, let me go back to the original. Remember, if I'm landing on my dashboard, this is where I start. And then I would look for AI tools. Okay. Click on AI tools, and then I'm going to see talking photos. And because he's already created the one, right? And what he did to create it was he uploaded a photo, he wrote a script, he selected his own voice, right, by hitting clone voice. And then he recorded himself for about 30 seconds. And then he titled it and he wrote a description. He hit the button to remove any background noise.
All right, fine. We'll come back to that.
Okay. Okay. Again, someone keeps unmuting themselves and wants us to hear their conversation. I don't know why that is. Okay, let me mute them again. Okay. Okay. Okay, so where was I? I was here. Okay. So he went in here. And again, why I'm here, let me just say this. When you write your own script, okay, whatever that may be, you want to make sure that you hit enhance script. Enhanced script is, I think, the best version of AI in the sense it's not writing the script for you, but what it is it's writing the personality. It actually looks at your personality that you wrote in the script, and it makes sure that the character that you chose, whether it be yourself or in this case, Gene Hackman, right? His facial expressions all reflect that. You don't have to put that in. You don't have to put in dramatic pause. AI literally gives that speech a personality versus reading it in a straight line. And so it's incredibly easy to do in that sense, right?
Mhm.
So created the script here, hit enhance script. And then here's what I do, by the way. Now you can add a URL here, right here. Your question is, let's say, for instance, if you're sending this to somebody, do you want it to be your replicated homepage? Do you want it to be your pricing page? Do you want it to be your Calendly? Do you want it to be my Calendly, right? You could literally add that right here by typing in your site, right? And then you click on here for approval. And then you would hit generate and it would be done. Okay. And it'll render here and you're finished. But I like to have more options because as opposed to just adding that one site. So what I would do is I would hit the download button here and it'll download the talking photo that I just created on my computer. then I'm going to want to put that back in the system because now it's outside of Pitch. It's on my computer. It could be in my downloads. It might be in my cloud storage, right? I've got this great talking photo that I did, right? But now I want to get a little fancier. So I go to my media, I go to my recordings, and you're going to do what I did earlier with my own video, right? So I'm going to upload my video here because I literally just, let's say I just downloaded it, okay? And now I'm going to, what I did before, like I did, I titled it, right? Right, whatever that may be, I'm going to write my description. And now I want to think about the person who's getting this text or email. What's the experience? What do I want him to see instantaneously? Do I want him to just to see me talking for a few seconds? Do I want him to see me and the website right away? Or do I want to talk for 15 or 20 seconds and then have the website appear? And then if I want the website appear, which page do I want? And do I want that to be the only page that appears? So one thing, if you notice here, I'm talking here for 7 minutes and 43 seconds. So if I want to decide where do I put the website, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually listen to myself.
Hi, I am Steve James,
Okay.
CEO of Pitch.
Now, for argument's sake, let's just say it's a minute 20 and I go, this is where I want my website to come up. So I type in my website. And I'm going to do it the homepage, right? So I want to get the overall view. And I decided, for argument's sake, I wanted to come up based on me listening to my recording that I made. Maybe when I thought, watched it a few times, I realized, okay, I wanted to come up at 45 seconds, the homepage at 45 seconds. Then I listened to myself a little further.
If you are watching this, you probably use.
And I realized at about the 3-minute mark, I started talking about the different plans we have. Do you know what I want to do? I want to change the page because plus I know they'll be impressed. They're going to go, how did you change the page? You're in a recording. How did that happen? Because remember, these pages are always interactive, right? So I'm going to type in, and the truth is I don't type it in. I put it in the browser and I just cut and paste it so I don't make a mistake, right? So it's always right? And let's just say I'm doing now the pricing page. And I put that in at the 2-minute and 5-second mark. Then I decided maybe they can't decide which plan to have. So you know what? I'm going to, because later on I talk about our features again. So I'm going to put in our feature page is going to come up. Right? See, I'm in control. That's the beauty of this, right? Whatever that may be. And I'm going to put that up at 3 minutes. Right? And then maybe at the end, now I'm going to decide. Do I want to try to get them to a live demo? Because the chances of them signing up just on a straight video, or you know what? Maybe I do want to end up back on the main page or the pricing page. Do you see what I mean? I'm literally designing the experience my guest is going to have. I'm not limited just to my video. I'm not limited just putting up a web page, and no matter what I say, they're going to be staring at the same thing. I could literally create a story.
Okay.
And yesterday, I can tell you, someone like Jeffrey is a storyteller. And he has to have the tools to tell a compelling story, right? You don't want just a video to tell the story, because not only could you put up URLs as I showed yesterday, you can put up images and pictures. Right? And so let's say now I change my mind, right? Hit delete. I can start over again, right? And then after, let's say, for instance, I created all this, it's uploaded, it's finished. I'm really proud of myself, but I'm not done, right? Because I want to also make sure they have a beautiful thumbnail, because I don't want them to see a text that's with Pitch logo. You're gonna go, what's that, right? So I hit edit, and here's where I can change my mind again. Maybe I don't want it to be Why Pitch right now. It sounded great when I thought of it, but after saying it 4 or 5 times, kind of sounds silly. But maybe I'll leave it. Maybe I want to change the websites that I added, whatever I want to do. And here's where I do the thumbnail. And you'll see it's blank. And all I do is I want to change blank to whatever I want it to be. And again, I can choose from my photos, right? So I'll go in and maybe, whatever that photo may be, and that's going to be my thumbnail. And what's really cool about the thumbnail is I get one more chance to give them a message. I can title it. So they're not just looking at a thumbnail without a message, right? I can write a description, right? And remember, if like Jeffrey, you know, in his Outlook, people know who he is. So he's probably got a picture of himself, you know, because that's why they're going to open it, because it's coming from Jeffrey, right? As opposed to an advertisement. And then I hit save. And now if I want to share it, right, all Jeffrey has to do, let's say he's got 2,000 names in his Outlook. How do you go from here to my Outlook where all my names are? I hit that little arrow, I copy the link, and I cut and paste it into Outlook, into my emails. And I could write a beautiful message, and I can cut and paste that thumbnail right in the center of an email or text. Does that answer
Steve,
the question?
Steve,
Sure,
when you on the screen where it says upload video
sure.
and you were adding the URLs, I noticed that in previous teachings we always add the URLs to the right, but there's a place under the video that says add something, add URL at this point or something. What's the difference in those two locations as far as adding a URL?
Let's bring it up. I've actually never added it from the left. So I need to
Oh, okay. See
right.
that to the left,
Oh,
right?
you know what it is? If you add it here, right here, you don't have to add a time. It'll,
Oh, okay.
you know, it'll be whatever time you're playing it. So what I meant is, let's say, for instance, I was watching this video,
Hi, I am.
okay, and it's now at the 4 minute,
Innovative
43 second.
webinar platform, and it's called
See?
Pitch.
It did it
And
exactly.
the
at the time.
webinar audience wanting to interact in real time.
Oh,
So it makes it where I don't have to put in the time. It's actually pretty efficient. It's better than me, right? So literally, if I'm watching it, I could hit freeze, right? And then add the URL, and it'll come up at exactly at 4:51.
I have a question on before you move out of the calendar.
Sure.
So I set up the calendar and I put in my pitch, but I have two different calendars. Can I do more than one calendar? In other words, I would love the
Let me
meeting.
say this. Let me say this. When it comes to Calendly for me, right? I have 7 calendars, right? So, but I use the same link for all 7 calendars because it's the calendar. The only thing the customer knows is the day and the time and the link. He doesn't know if I'm using it for other things. So that's the great part, right, about Calendly. Why I like it is because I'm not limited. You know, so for instance, I've got a calendar for these calls. I think we did away with the calendar so people could just come in, but we originally did a calendar for this. We have a calendar for Tuesday nights. We have a calendar for my demos from 10 to 5 during the day, right? So yeah, I had a calendar for each one. And then I just, and somebody said, I really would love different links for each calendar. It's one of those things where it sounds like you need to have it, but you really don't. You know, so we could do it. I could say to the development team, stop working on this and work on that, but I just don't think it's a high priority because it doesn't really stop your functionality, but it's something we'll definitely do.
So every time I have a meeting, I will use like my personal link. That's what
Correct.
You're suggesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Now,
where-
so what's
Go ahead.
great is you can use ours. You can schedule it through ours. You're not required to use Calendly. It's not like we don't have one, so I'm pushing you to Calendly, right? You know, so it's entirely up to you. You know, whatever you prefer. And so let me go
No,
back.
the reason I asked, but I understand what you're also saying. The reason I asked is that I have Calendly and I have different calendar, but I would have loved to have 2 different Zoom meetings, one from my assistant to do her for me. But if it's not possible, we just manage.
So, I would say to you, like certain meetings I do schedule. Like I schedule our Tuesday night 9 o'clock here, right? And then I use Calendly for certain meetings. So it is nice. I have that flexibility. So when I'm setting up here, for instance, right? You know, my best meeting, right? And I am going to pick the day and the time here. And the time I really want to use this is when and you have to use it for this, is for your co-host links. if I'm going to work with my team and I'm going to create co-host links for them, then I need to go through here. So this is what I mean. I'm calling it my best meeting ever. Okay, and I'll show you an example of why I would definitely use it here. And let's say I even want it to be a recurring meeting. I want the same. I don't want to have to set this up every night because it's going to be Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, and the last thing I want to do is forget to go do this, right? And so I don't want a waiting room. I don't want to be sitting there letting people in the meeting every single time, right? I'm not going to broadcast it to Facebook Live, right? Now I can start this meeting off as a standard meeting, just like Jeffrey and I did yesterday. We did a standard meeting. It was scheduled, came out through our system, right? But let's say, for instance, and Jeff, I'm using Jeffrey, I hope you don't mind, I apologize, right? Is he works with a lot of authors. And so selling books, right? So it could be not only motivational and inspirational, but for the authors, it could be transactional, right? They want to sell books because if no one's buying books, no one's getting the message, right? And a lot of these authors have fans. And when they find out that they could work with their favorite authors and help promote and sell their books, and they can get paid if Jeffrey and the authors decide that they want to do that. Imagine knowing that they're going to have a big meeting on Tuesday night. And for all my fans out there, I'm going to give you a link for you to invite your people to meet me live on the webinar where I'm going to talk about the book. And if they choose to, they can purchase it. And because I'm going to give you your own invite link, I'll know every single person who came to the meeting and who purchased a book. And I could use my Amazon site for that. Whatever, they don't need buy any infrastructure through us. So let's say, for instance, here, I'm going to click on interactive meeting because I want to sell books. And I'm not going to be the only host, right? I'm going to work with my fans, not salespeople, but people who are passionate about my book and my message, right? So I'm hitting co-host. And let's say, for instance, I don't have it here, but this was my Amazon site, my Amazon book selling site, or my own personal website that has my book on it. And here's all my fans. And every time I check a name, one of my fans is going to get a link to invite their guests. Okay? And if my site has the ability to create affiliate links, I could add their own affiliate site of my book to that invite link. And to do that, all I write is their first name, last name, and email. And all of my fans trying to sell my book is going to say, Steve's doing a meeting at 9 o'clock at night promoting the book that I know you purchased and you're a big fan of. And just so you know, here's your personal invite link to invite all of your guests. And for every single guest that decides to move forward and purchase a book, I'm going to have a special thank you for you. Right? I mean, it creates community. And what Jeffrey was talking about yesterday was creating trust and authenticity. And when you have a project like that, this is such a powerful way to create that experience.
Yeah, Steve, I'm seeing such a powerful connection and a way to build community. For instance, when we get done with the book itself, we're going to have a launch party. There's an algorithm that if you want to be an international bestseller, that Amazon has to have like 3,000 books sold within a certain period of time.
Right.
Imagine a national launch party, and the single goal is to invite people to the call and introduce ourselves and all that, but you just showed. But imagine having that. We have the formula. Now we just interact it. We make it interactive. We make it a big launch party. So really excited about getting some more information about how we're going to do that.
Yeah. When I first met your partner, Robert, that's what I said to him. I said, you guys go to Barnes and Noble, you go to New York, you have this one big, great event. And then what happens next?
Yeah.
Right. Then it's everyone's left on their own. Right. As opposed to it still being a community effort to sell those books. And when you have 25 or 30 authors, to me, that's 25 or 30 launch parties. Right. That follows the original one. Right. Yeah. And especially with their fan base. Right. They actually have people to send invite links to not only invite them to the meeting, but use this link to invite a guest. So I can honor and recognize you however you choose to in order to make that happen. Yep. Very powerful.
Can I ask one more question really quickly?
Sure.
I see one of the features is sharing your social media. So yesterday, we had a very powerful meeting. I'd love to be able to take a snippet of that or something like that and be able to broadcast to the social media. I know that the platform has the capability, but I'm not sure how it does it.
It does. And let me show you here what I think is the best way to do that. Right. And what I always say is there's so many people that do things better than we do, right? I don't think anyone does the webinar better than we do, but there's people that do avatars better than us, right? There's people that do social media, better than us. And so what I say that if you're really professional at broadcasting to Facebook Live or YouTube or Instagram, the easiest thing to do is to use a company like Restream, which I use, or StreamYard. And because if you put their code in, right? Oh, let me show you where you can easily set that up. Here, it's in my profile. And you put in their stream key into our system, then you get to leverage their professionalism, and their power into doing that. And so right here under my profile, where it says my streaming links, we're going to change this. It says Facebook Live and YouTube, but the truth is it could be any restreaming link. It doesn't matter if it's TikTok. It doesn't matter if it's Restream. And so when you put it in here, this is all you need to do is take your Restream stream URL and your stream key, and then you'll Restream or StreamYard, and then you could literally from Restream or StreamYard choose how many networks you want to broadcast it to. Now, I believe that you can broadcast 2 or 3 for free, so you don't even have to pay for the account. But if you're professional at this, you have your own account already, which is great. You're not paying for an additional account to do that.
Sure.
And that's where, and then when you're setting up a meeting, so you set it up here ahead of time, so you never have to set it up, even though you can set it up live when you're doing it. So let's say now I'm going to schedule a meeting, title it, right? And you notice down here, broadcast this meeting. So when I'm saying choose Facebook or Live, I could choose Restream, right? And I go here, and that's all I need to do. And then, literally, and then when the meeting starts, over the record button, you'll see a button that says activate. As soon as you click that, you're broadcasting live.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes again, because I don't do it myself. So sometimes when I go through it, I'm going, yeah, God, we did make that easy. It really does work.
I haven't. I was doing an interactive meeting, and I opened up the presentation page. When I finished, I wanted to go back. I couldn't go back. So please, can you show me? I wanted to toggle between two websites.
Sure. Well, let me try to do it here for you guys so you can see how I do it, and then tell me if this was similar to your experience. Okay? Because if you're brand new, I apologize that we're kind of jumping all over the place, right? But let's say, so right now I don't want to share this one. Let me share something that you guys can see more easily. Apologize. Hold on a second here. Let me cancel that. And let me share this. Okay. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Hold on a second here. Make sure I'm on the right page. There it is. Let's see here. So I'm sharing another browser right now outside of this one, and sharing a whole nother platform. Okay, so you can only watch this one. You can't participate in this one. So I'm actually going to start a meeting right here. Okay, and again, I personally always use 2.0, okay, because 2.0 will be the only 0.0 fairly soon. Remember, when starting a meeting, you just want to make sure you click on the right thing, because if you've got any device in your house, your car, it's looking for it. Okay, so you want to make sure that's on. You want to make sure your camera's on, right? Then you join your meeting. Okay, and now I'm actually in another meeting, right? Okay, and notice my buttons on the bottom, right? Microphone, camera, record. As the host, you see record. As a guest, you wouldn't see that. Settings, translate. Remember, if you want to do live translation, this is how easy it is to do.
That was my question while you're right there. When I tried live translation in English to English, it doesn't act as a caption. Right. I thought it blocked out the audio, and then it didn't work right, but maybe I did something wrong.
No, like I said, today we had that conversation with our development team, how we're actually, because of you, by the way, as opposed to having just the translate button here, we're going to have a live transcription button in between. to make it specifically for you, to make it easy and more intuitive.
You could just say live caption. That's what most.
Okay. See, I'm still learning. But yes, we want to do that, for the hearing impaired. I also had researched, but it's very expensive unless you can refer somebody. They have AI sign language characters that can do it, but the price per minute was really prohibitive, even though we would do it as a pass-through. I didn't think it was cost effective. If that's something you want us to pursue and you could
There are
recommend.
companies that do that through federally sponsored. I don't even know if that still exists, but I can look into that. All the different states have translation from ASL for free for meetings.
Yeah, I'm saying the transcription part is easy, right?
No, but
That's
sign
the easy
language too.
But if we could do the sign language, I would love to go all in. That's what I meant. As opposed to doing the minimum to satisfy, I would like to do something beyond. If there's something we could do that no one else is doing, it always grabs my attention.
I like it.
Let's do that.
Hey, Steve, real quick, a question. Under AI tools, what does that available credits thing mean? What is that?
So let me say this. So with each plan, right, we give a certain number of free credits, and each credit gives you a certain amount of free avatars with each plan. And I think we didn't solidify it yet, which is why we keep just replenishing credits for free until we decide what we want to charge. But the idea maybe it's 5 credits in the $49 plan, 10 credits in the medium plan, maybe 20 credits in the higher. But until we decide what those final numbers are, as soon as the credits go low, every couple of days, we just replenish people's credits for free.
Thank you.
Depending on how long the video is, I think the maximum is 2 credits, but that it would take to do a video if it's a full 5 minutes.
Are you talking about like if I make a video or
photo?
So,
like a talking photo. Uh-huh.
Okay, so if I haven't done any yet, and I have the $199 plan or whatever, it should. I mean, it shows 10. I was just wondering what that was.
Yeah, and that's what I'm just saying. If when people call me and they go, I need more credits, I don't just refurnish you. I refurnish everyone, right?
Yeah.
And so
I got you.
Because we are going to have what my plan is let's say you're in the $49 plan and you run out of credits. We don't want to make you upgrade to the $79 or $99 plan, right? You'd be able to purchase additional credits in your current plan so you don't have to upgrade. Of course, we will incentivize you and make it, a better deal if you do upgrade. But the idea is, again, to be as least frictionless as possible. Because when you want to do a video, you probably want to do it right there and then, and I don't want you to have to make an investment in order to have a video. So make sure that you could just buy us some additional credits to do what you need. And then you could decide the following month, if you're going to be doing it a lot, it pays for you to be in a higher plan. Does that make sense? Okay.
Hey, Steve.
Sure. Go ahead.
Is it okay? I have a question. So I'm actually creating, I don't know if you saw my email that I sent out, but I have a whole itinerary set. And if I want to invite people, if I do it on the pitch platform for and I'm not comparing us to Zoom, but in a way I am, when I hit on the calendar on Zoom, I could invite as many guests as I want on the Zoom calendar. So, and right now with my Calendly, I can only send an invite to one person and then it's showing booked. So the nice thing, when I would create an event on the Zoom, I could invite as many guests as I want, and they got the invitation.
Right.
Are we going to?
So let me say this. So the last important feature, right, that we've held it off to the end that we want to introduce is a CRM to address those needs for two particular reasons, right, or 3 reasons, I should say. Is many people like Jeff who use their own CRM want to continue to use their CRM. They don't want to use ours, right, in order to use our platform. So we want to create a CRM that allows it to easily integrate with Outlook or Go High Level or Calendly, whatever that may be. So it's a CRM with the intention of somebody's going to use their own. It will also be a standalone CRM for those people that don't have HubSpot or Salesforce or Outlook on a constant basis. And the third reason we want a CRM is we want to be able to give you the ability to track your video plays, and you can't do that without a CRM. And so we needed to have all our tools in place before we decided what was the best version.
So wait a second. I'm a little confused because on Zoom, when they had this, they'd schedule a meeting, and I'd schedule a meeting, and it would have the calendar that was already integrated into the Zoom, which I think Pitch has anyways.
Correct. But there's a difference.
I just want to have to be able to invite guests. So in that way, because like with the, what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm answering your question in a larger way than you asked it. So the answer is yes, you'll be able to do what you want, but for those that want to do more than what you're asking for, our CRM will allow that as well. But
Okay.
we need a CRM. You need to have a CRM to be able to cover the general area of what you're talking about. That helps.
So our back office right now is not a CRM that you have right now in place?
It's not a proper CRM, no. It's a
I
schedule.
get it. Okay.
Can you continue before you drift off from showing me how to toggle a presentation?
Sure. Yeah, that's why I'm right here. That's why I didn't change the button. Okay. So remember, if you're brand new, the difference between us and Zoom initially, right, is these two buttons right here, right? So if you see where it says share a screen, you're going to share a screen the way you traditionally do on Zoom, right? You can pick a tab or you can pick another window. You can't pick the entire screen because it's crowd-based, and that's when you get that kind of mirror effect. So these are going to be your two buttons. Share the whole browser, and then you can just go anywhere you want in that browser, other than the one that you're in, right? You can't have it in the same, or you click your tabs, okay? But what makes us unique, right, is you not only can you do it that way, but you can also share a website. So I hit that share button, and notice as soon as I did this, my favorites immediately pop up, and I make a favorite by typing it in and hitting the star, and then it'll always be there. So I don't have to type it in. I can literally just click on one, and that'll pop up. But let's say it's a brand new one, okay? And a lot of times I use State Farm because it's an easy site. I could preview it, see what it looks like myself, make sure it loads before any of my guests see it. Or I could just start it off where standard, and I'll be in control. Now, even though like you see this menu on the right-hand side, just so you know, your guest can't see that. Only you can see that. And if you want to see what the guest experience, you want to see how pretty it looks right in full view, because this to me is like a Google 80-inch TV. When I do this, I hit the X button, and now I can see what it looks like. I could also move myself around. Maybe I want myself instead of on the left, maybe I want myself on the bottom. This button here allows me to make these changes at any time I want to go do that. So as myself, right, I can change the whole look and feel of what I like in that perspective. I personally that. So now I go, how do I get back? So now I can see what it looks like, but how do I get back? All I do is I hit the share button again, and I'm back. So this to me is the best UX in the history of webinars. How do I go from standard to interactive? How do I toggle back and forth? So where I like to say is, I wish it said, I'm in control, my guests are in control. My guests are in control. That's all I do, right? I go from interactive, and again, when it's interactive, remember, they're controlling the screen. So if I move the screen, they're not seeing me move the screen because they're in control. But let's say, for instance, somebody has a question. They go, hey, I understand, State Farm has great, retirement plans. Great. Let me grab the screen. I just grab control of the screen. I'm in control.
So if you want
So let's say, for instance, somebody, I don't want the website up at all, right? Maybe I just want to talk for a second. So I just went from regular meeting back to standard. And I'll let that pop up. And then after it pops up, maybe now I want to make it interactive. Interactive means all of my guests, whether it be one guest or 600 people, they can all touch the screen themselves. Now, if one of those guests, right, want to share their screen with me, it won't be interactive, right? But I can stop sharing. The guest can hit screen share the way you do in a Zoom, and I can see the page that they want to see. that they're showing me. Maybe they're filling out a form. They want me to see it. They have a question. So I'll just hit stop sharing and say, okay, Susie, share your screen. And I can see what you're looking at. So those are all the toggle back and forth it couldn't be simpler. It's kind of hard to make a mistake with that.
Yes, and if you want to toggle between two websites, how do you get the second one?
Well, if it's not in my favorite, right? Let's say it's not my favorite. So I'm going to do, it's pretty manual. I just erased it and I just type it in, right? It's that easy, right?
Okay.
Is there a way to share your mobile device? Like if I want to go from my computer?
Everything. Well, let me just say this, right? Everything you're doing on desktop, you can do on mobile, right? Now, if you're on a Mac, right, they have the ability, like I am, right? I could share my phone because Mac has a special tool for it, right? There are also third-party softwares that allow you to share your phone if you're not on a Mac that Apple has. And I remember Ray and I downloaded one and we played with it, but then Mac or Apple, I should say, did it. So there's an easy button. Yes, to put your phone on and share it just like it's another piece of content. 100%.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm still back at Calendly.
Well, you know what it is? They must be really happy that they're that important, right? That's the way I look at it.
I still don't see where you enter the pitch meeting link.
Okay, let me see if I really do want to try to log in for you and do that myself. Because let me see if I can do it. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can log in. So it keeps taking.
If you're able to go to your Calendly and you have the list of different events that you have, each one on the right side has an edit option, those three little dots.
Okay.
You can edit, go in there, and then you'll be able to edit the location. You're going to change it from an automatic Zoom meeting to a location of your choice, which that's where you're going to put your URL that goes to your pitch.
Okay, so say that. So when someone schedules a meeting on my Calendly, and you're saying where would the pitch meeting?
You need to preset your Calendly so that it's a fixed location, which will be your immediate meeting stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you recall from pitch from the pitch website, there's two options for scheduling meetings. When you schedule it, that's a fixed one, and then it'll have a different code, and that's you control that one. And the other one, if you have your instant meeting, you're going to need to look at that link first, and then share that in your URL on the Zoom on the Calendly site.
Yes, when you're logged into Calendly, right? There's a place that it says edit your meetings, right? And when you hit edit your meetings on the right hand side, you'll see a whole bunch of options, right? You can pick how long your meetings are. You'll see at the very top, it'll say location. And location is where you would cut and paste your instant link that you get from Pitch. I'm sorry,
Okay, so
I just can't.
Under
I
the
just can't log
meetings,
in.
you're saying it's under the meeting link.
Yes, and that's what he's saying. When you hit the three dots, that's a quick way to get to the edit button, right?
Okay.
Of Calendly. But basically where you set up your Calendly, right? Of day, time, location, right? There's a place to put in the link. It's called location.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you can't do it, don't worry. We'll do it, you know?
Okay.
I just, for some reason, I'm trying to log in. Every time I try to log in, it just brings up my calendar as if I want to book a meeting.
Yeah. Ms. Cheryl, first you have to create your events, if you want a 15-minute event, a 30-minute event, or a 1-hour event. And once you create those events, you can go back and you can edit those events and include your pitch link in those events. So they're just automatically set.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions today? I'm sorry if you guys are putting stuff in the chat. I haven't been looking
I
at
have
it.
one question, Steve.
Sure.
So when we do breakout rooms, okay, which we haven't really gone through yet, are you able to do the interactive in the breakout rooms?
I don't know because since I've only been using 2 and we only have breakout rooms available in 1, it's been a long time. So I honestly don't know because I haven't I haven't done it myself. So I'll make sure I do that for the next meeting. Mhm.
I have a quick question. I just noticed that a lot of people seem to be. Can you, as the host, set the meeting so that people join muted and they have
Yes.
to actively unmute?
Correct. If you click on people, you have the options to set that up as where they can unmute themselves or they can't unmute themselves. And
No, but I
whatever's
mean,
that-
so the default is that they're muted at the beginning.
yes, that's what I'm saying. You can. Yep.
You can. Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
You can also set the camera to be on and off or off beforehand. Real quick question, Steven. I'm sorry. Just going back to the top, but how do I download your video that you had so that I can share it with my, and just the first part, that's all I need.
Sure.
How do I download your video?
So when you pop up the video into the browser, you'll see a big green download button.
Okay.
And so it's literally one touch and you can do that. Mhm.
Thank you. That's all I need.
Okay.
Steve, please, before we hang up,
Sure.
I truly need your attention on my issues. I'm the one that emailed you about the features, and I'm even
Yeah.
looking at what you have right now,
Yeah.
and I know.
I think we should deal with some of those issues offline. I don't think that's kind of a group.
Yes, that's
Group
what I'm
event.
saying.
Yeah, and I directed you to our customer service, Pamela.
Oh,
Gonna
they're
reach
not
out
getting
to
my
you.
emails.
No,
I'm not
no,
getting their
Pamela.
emails.
Pamela will reach out to you. You have my word. She's not in charge of. She's not customer service. She's in charge of customer service. So I brought it to her attention for you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I promise you, it's high priority. That's not. You're not a no. By the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Steve, don't forget about me as well.
And what is that? Oh, no. Of course. Tommy?
Yeah, it's been months since I
Yeah.
can even use the interactive us standard.
Yeah. Well, you can. You just can't use it on that one particular website, right? So there's a difference between the function not working and it not working for a particular website, right? And just to be clear for everyone, right? We always say we can take virtually, and I use that word, any website in the world and make it completely interactive. And it's virtually because some websites deliberately don't want us to do it. So I'm saying they have cloud, great softwares like Cloudflare to deliberately do that. And the truth is 99.9% of the time we can do a workaround, and beat them at their own game, so to speak, right? In order to do that. Some websites, like I say, as soon as we do that, and we're talking a very, very small percentage of websites to do that, that don't, and what it is they don't want us to do is take their website and put it inside ours, right? They want to have that control. And so sometimes when we can do that, what it creates another difficulty, which Joan is aware of, right, is then it's hard to sign in. Like you could experience the website, but it's also then hard to sign in, right? Because of great security, right? We're talking sometimes billion-dollar companies that have wonderful security, which you appreciate on both sides, right? And so, like I say, for 99% of the people, and I'm sorry, Tommy, that you're not in that group, right? They have websites where it's not a challenge, right? But when it is, we usually, not every time, right? Sometimes we can't, but most of the time we can, do a workaround for that site to create this incredible experience that no one else can, right? So, and you just have to remember, and I just want to, tell you guys I appreciate it. Remember, what I like to say is you're on the front lines, you're in the trenches, right, of a pioneering new technology, right? You're not, unfortunately, right, you're not at the end, right? You're right there near the end in that perspective. And without your help and pointing out those issues, right, we wouldn't get to the end, so we look at you as partners, not just customers. And your insight and the things that you point are not nuisances. They're not irritating, right? They're benefits to us, because otherwise we don't know what to fix, right? So just so you know, like in a year and a half of building a platform, you know, it's like looking in the mirror all day long, right? You know, all you see is this very narrow view of what you build, right? And then all of a sudden you put it out there in the real world, and now there's 400 new browsers that our platform has never hit. You know, there's 27 new devices, right, that our platform has never used. Safari turns around and changes the algorithms and the access that we have. And so that's where, you know, in the beginning, we're play a little catch up in that perspective. But like I say, you know, 3 months ago, there were a lot more of those issues. We're really at the very, very end of any of those kind of details. Like in the beginning, a good example when it comes to translations, right? Again, we invented this technology and the way that we do it. It's not like we just hired some third party and are paying them, you know, a fee to offer you translations. And in the beginning, we didn't know that when you have 10 people talking at once in 10 different languages, it's not a good idea, right, for translations, right? You know, just the way it's not really that good when 10 people are speaking English, it's not such a good idea, right? So we had to figure out that, oh, if we mute everybody, right? So sometimes the solutions are not so technically difficult, right? They're just life experience, you know, in that perspective, right? Same thing with, you know, the mute button on these scenarios, right? A lot of people have certain devices, you know, where we can't cut out the background noise yet, right? And you go, oh my God, you know, an iPhone 6. I didn't know we had a plan for that one still, right? That's still in the marketplace, right? So, but I promise you, right, is pretty soon it'll be in the rearview mirror and you won't be, you know, remembering that. So, so again, I look forward to seeing a lot of you guys tonight, and hopefully, you know, feel free to bring a guest. And I promise we'll do our best job for you guys tonight.
Do we have a dress code tonight, Steve? I know it is St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, I'll see if I could go for the green shirt instead of the blue. Tell that to all my ex-wives, okay?
Real quick, one more. I thought I was done. The last one for a
Sure.
background. I know that on the 1.0, there's a background that can be set up, but on the 2.0, when is that coming?
You know, the truth is we're trying to get it done for tonight. So the good news is if it's not tonight, it will be this week, but that is still on the schedule to release that tonight. So you took away one of my announcements.
Sorry. Just that I never like to have the camera on, but I don't like the backgrounds open behind, so that's why.
I'm the same way. I don't think that TV behind me is necessarily really attractive. So yes, I'm good with that.
All right, thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Okay. Anything else before I let you guys go?